Hey there, my friend. Before we dive into today's episode, let me take a moment to acknowledge something important. Behind every podcast, there's a real person, yep, me, pouring time, energy, and more coffee than any doctor would approve of into creating content that informs, educates, and hopefully leaves you a little more curious about the world. If you find value in these conversations, please hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, and share this podcast with someone who might benefit from it. It costs you nothing, but it means the world to me. All right, let's get into it. Today, we're talking about a figure who has not only shaped history, but also defied it. President Jimmy Carter. At the incredible age of 100 years old, Jimmy Carter passed away after nearly 2 years in hospice care. Now, this podcast isn't about politics. It's about understanding life, resilience, and the medical story behind his final chapter. Hospice care is something many people don't fully understand. It's not just about dying, it's about living with dignity, comfort, and peace when curative treatments are no longer effective or desired. For almost 2 years, Jimmy Carter received hospice care, and that in itself tells a story of courage and acceptance. But let's pause for a moment. 100 years old, a centenarian. How did he do it? What health habits helped him reach such a milestone? If you ever listened to Carter talk about his life, you'd know he valued simplicity, faith, staying active, and a strong sense of purpose. He spent his post-presidential years building homes with Habitat for Humanity, teaching Sunday school, and staying deeply connected to his family and community. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, the cause of death. While the official cause hasn't been announced, we know that Jimmy Carter had been battling metastatic melanoma since 2015. So today we're going to talk about what metastatic melanoma is, how it progresses, and what modern medicine can offer to people facing this diagnosis. First things first, what is melanoma? Melanoma is a type of skin cancer that originates in melanocytes, the cells that produce melanin, the pigment responsible for skin color. While early-stage melanoma is often curable with surgical removal, it becomes far more challenging when it spreads or metastasizes to other parts of the body. So how does metastatic melanoma cause death? When melanoma spreads to critical organs, like the liver, brain or lungs, it disrupts their ability to function. In the brain, melanoma metastases can cause swelling, seizures or pressure on vital areas that control breathing and heart rate. In the liver, cancer cells can compromise its ability to filter toxins from the blood, produce essential proteins, and regulate digestion. It's important to note that Jimmy Carter's battle with melanoma was nothing short of remarkable. He was diagnosed at a time when groundbreaking treatments such as immunotherapy were revolutionizing cancer care. Immunotherapy. What is it and how does it work? Immunotherapy treatments like checkpoint inhibitors, specifically drugs like Keytruda, pembrolizumab, or Opdivo, nivolumab, essentially wake up the immune system and allow it to recognize and attack cancer cells. These treatments have significantly improved survival rates for people with metastatic melanoma, turning what was once considered a death sentence into a chronic illness for some patients. What is the life expectancy for metastatic melanoma today? Historically, the prognosis was grim, often less than a year. But with modern treatments like immunotherapy and targeted therapies, some patients are living 5 years or longer with the disease. Of course, outcomes depend on factors like the patient's overall health, the number and location of metastases, and how well the cancer responds to treatment. But beyond the science, there's a deeper lesson here. President Carter's journey teaches us about the power of resilience, the importance of early detection, and the incredible advances in medical science. For those of you listening who may be dealing with a cancer diagnosis, whether it's your own or that of a loved one, know this: you're not alone. The treatments are better than they've ever been, and every day researchers are working tirelessly to improve them even more. President Jimmy Carter lived a century, a full, meaningful, impactful century. And while we mourn his passing, we also celebrate his life, his courage, and his unwavering commitment to serving others. Thank you for joining me today on this reflective journey. If this episode made you think, if it informed you, or if it simply reminded you of the beauty of a life well lived, please hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, and share this podcast with someone who might need to hear it. This is Salud al Día, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Until then, stay informed, stay inspired, and take care of each other. Disclaimer. This podcast is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult a qualified healthcare provider with any questions about your health.